genuinely, from the depths of my soul, am not that type of person. But it seems like I keep getting mixed up with the wrong people. Like, I'm just done. Like, I don't want any friends. I don't want any girlfriends. Nothing. I'm done with everyone and everything. Don't understand it. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't. And it's like, I think the craziest part is like that was in response to me saying that I miss her. I didn't even say anything bad about her. I've never said anything bad about her. I have stuck by her side. I have stuck up for her. I have lied for her. I have been there for her. But Amberlynn's just a master manipulator. I'm just the wizard of manipulation. I'm going to be the professor at the manipulation college. Like, what the ever. I genuinely, from the depths of my soul, am not that type of person. But it seems like I keep getting mixed up with the wrong people. Like, I'm just done. Like, I don't want any friends. I don't want any girlfriends. Nothing. I'm done with everyone and everything. Don't understand it. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't. And it's like, I think the craziest part is like that was in response to me saying that I miss her. I didn't even say anything bad about her. I've never said anything bad about her. I have stuck by her side. I have stuck up for her. I have lied for her. I have been there for her. But Amberlynn's just a master manipulator. I'm just the wizard of manipulation. I'm going to be the professor at the manipulation college. Like, what the ever.
Well. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Liz and Siggy and I Draw People and J to the D1. A pleasure to see you today. Hello, I'm so sorry for cutting your grass today. Julia, Feathers, Toby, Gabrielle, Baroki Woki, Hillary, Really, Lewis, Greeny Bluish, Diary. Lovely to see you all today. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are on this beautiful planet. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another ad hoc live stream. Oh my goodness, happy Friday. What a shock. Thank you all so much for joining me. Today we're going to be reacting to the one, the only, the incomparable, the nincompoop of Oklahoma, Miss Amberlynn Reid. By the way, chat, I don't know if you can notice, but I just got out of the shower. Classic. Okay, Baroki. Thank you, honey. Chat, the lovely Lord Baroki Woki has gifted 50 channel memberships. That's wonderful, mate. Thank you so much for your generosity, but that is not at all required. That's a big number. Chat, I can't read out everyone's names because this is going to go on for a minute. So, if you've received a channel membership during the stream, congratulations. You have access to Gapes and Crumbs. But if you can find a moment either in the comments or in the chat if you're here right now, please make sure you tag and thank the lovely Lord Baroki Woki for the gift. That's very kind of you, mate. I appreciate it. And I hope you're having a great day. And I think you said you hadn't gone to sleep yet, so I hope you get to sleep when you can. I Draw People, thank you for being here for 5 months as well, honey. I Draw People says, it was my birthday yesterday. I hope you had a fabulous birthday, mate. I hope you got some cake and had a great time. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. That's a lot of gapes, yeah. 50 is a backwards 20. I mean, yeah, and it's like, if you're on a keyboard, it's kind of, they're just one space apart, so thank you, honey, I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good day. Alright, so, today we're going to be reacting to Miss Amberlynn Reid and her most recent upload, which is really bizarre. I'm getting the feeling like she must have, like, recorded it yesterday or something, so maybe our vlogstress is back. This is Raglynn Bleed. It's 16 minutes and 23 seconds. We're going to watch that. I've already listened to it. It is basically an overall reaction of Ambi to Salty Crab in one of Salty Crab's more recent pieces of content, I believe, where there's a discussion about the name Raglynn Bleed. We'll all have a conversation. Oh, it was the phone's fault broke? That's fair. No, that's fair. We'll all have a conversation about that, and Ambi's going to gaslight, gatekeep, girl fail in this entire thing. So that's going to be fun. If we do have time, I've got about an hour, but if we do have additional time, I understand there's a conversation with Destiny via Kinda Good, Kinda Beck, which is 2 hours long, so we won't be able to do that all today. But if I've got the time or the energy, I am a little bit tired, but if I've got the time or the energy, we might start watching that. But who knows? Anyway, over to Amby. Hi, my name's Zach. Lovely to meet you if you're new, and thank you very much for returning if you are coming back. I am not a mental or physical healthcare professional, just a guy who lost weight, talks about things on the internet, watches way too much of too many people. I'm also not here to bully, shame, hate, harass, or humiliate, just here to talk about the produced and monetized content that we see here on this platform, because it's all about what choices I say, choices about what we put on the internet, choices, and also it's like 5 a.m. in Oklahoma. Girl. Anyway, let's get to with our favorite YouTuber, Amber.
Okay, guys, so I actually just got out of the shower and I wasn't gonna do this. This was not gonna be something that I was gonna do. And now that I have like a whole YouTube schedule going, I don't know where this would fit in my schedule. I want to get
I don't even know when this was recorded, but sure.
This out like now.
Shadell says, I'm glad the bangs are gone. They're in a cupboard just to my side. Not a cupboard, a drawer. So they're still on hand.
So I don't normally do reactions to reaction channels, but I feel like I'm done like zipping my lip, you know? And when it comes to this topic...
Is this your villain era, as you so succinctly put into that super chat to Chantal today? Is this the villain era? Very good.
It's...
Oh, maybe I should get little like horns. That could be fun.
It's near and dear to me, obviously. I had cancer. It was traumatizing. I genuinely thought I was gonna die. I had to do invasive surgery at over 500 pounds because of my cancer. So for another YouTuber to create a nickname, Raglynn Bleed, while already they're hypocritical, they're biased.
I'm sorry, okay, you'll want my opinion on all of this, here it is. I don't think that, like, Raglynn, funny. The Bleed reference is, like, a pretty, like, sideways reference to anything, Amby. Personally, I do not think calling Amberlynn Reid Raglynn Bleed is is an attack, is a joke at the expense of her having cancer. I don't think it's actually got to do with anything around that. I think, and I know Salty will discuss it in this entire reaction, and undoubtedly Salty will bring it up in a piece of content over the weekend. But even just having heard this, like, vicariously, it's because of Amby's unwillingness to... Okay, for context. Amberlynn Reid sat on this platform for... How many years was that? 7 years? 7 years. Talking all things health, diagnoses, yada, yada, yada. There was never a conversation about free bleeding. There was never a conversation... up until, like, obviously the cancer stuff. There was never a conversation about that. But in the same vein... Amby had never been to an OBGYN. Ever. And every time I say that, someone's shocked in the chat because it's shocking. It's wild. Wild. Now, Amby would take us to ER runs. Amby would vlog having to go, like, to the ER at 3 o'clock in the morning. Of course, Beck was driving. Now, we did know all of that stuff. Obviously didn't know about the free bleeding until all of that came out. But it's absolutely shocking, absolutely shocking that obviously she didn't see professionals. She did see professionals in the ER, but didn't see an OBGYN, didn't have like a primary care physician when all of this stuff was going on, and just magically thought that people working in the ER could run tests, diagnose, fix all of her problems. And Amby just didn't want to take any responsibility for that whatsoever. Idro people, also, thank you very much for gifting 10 channel memberships, honey. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Welcome, or welcome back to everybody on that list. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah.
Bleed, while already they're hypocritical, they're biased.
That's what I was going to say. Being hypocritical and being biased has nothing to do with this particular name, but okay.
Very clear on my Instagram that is fucked up. I've also made it very clear during public live streams and during my members only live streams. And this YouTuber just keeps going back and forth with me, trying to like twist the narrative of why.
Okay, here's the thing. She's gonna say she hasn't watched this at all and this is a blind react. I say false, because in this piece of content, Salty says, I'm not interested in going back and forth with Amberlynn Reid. The fact that Amber used that phrase right there indicates to me, and look, I'm no scientist, but I do have ears. And when I tell you Chantal said the word seminar, my mind went to MLM. The fact that Amber used that exact same phrase that Salty also uses in this piece of content that Amber totally hasn't watched yet screams that she's already watched it and has pretty much tried to script out her responses to this reaction. Doesn't come effortlessly, you know? She's a liar.
And this YouTuber just keeps going back and forth with me, trying to like twist the narrative of why they, you know, named me raglynn Reid when it's very obvious why they did it, and they're trying so hard to like turn it into like an okay nickname. So my friend sent me.
Okay, so she doesn't read this part out, so we will. Hold on. I don't know who this friend is, but this says, whatever, right through it all, I am just learning about who Salty Crab is, and I just watched her new video, and the first 5 minutes is still her talking about your cancer and bleeding. She has no human decency for you. You are absolutely right when you see these people see you as a character. Oh, is this Amby? Is this your new caretaker? God, I failed to get that word out. Caretaker? Maybe. You're absolutely right when you say these people see you as a character. I can't imagine having my life, love life, family, health, and private conversations dissected and shown to the world, but they're only making you stronger and they hate to see it. Amby, if your imaginary friend here thinks that you should try to keep things private, maybe you should try to keep things private. Oh my god, I chose not to watch Salty's new video because of the title. She's so biased. It is sick. But if she is mentioning my cancer, I think I'm going to go listen real quick. I thought you said you don't watch reaction channels. Never mind. She's definitely talking about it. She even mentions the pics you posted to Snap of you bleeding and stuff, which I didn't know about. She's trying to make a different narrative about why she called you that name. Girl, I'm so tired. We're only just starting and I am so tired.
This message that you are seeing here, and I was like, you know what?
Salty is Salty Crab, Sinful Princess. If you haven't watched any of Salty Crab's content, I highly recommend. Quite good. Salty's been doing like catch-ups on Amby's membership streams. And then, so when that first started, Amby got mad at Salty because Salty wasn't saying verbatim what Amby was saying on the membership streams, and instead was just reporting on the vibes. And so Salty then started doing direct quotes from Amby's membership stream, which Amby also didn't like. And then Salty, I think, included a clip or two of one of Amby's members-only streams. And then Amby reached out and threatened Salty with a copyright strike. So yeah, there's been a bit of back and forth over the last couple of weeks. It's a lot. Lottie, good to see you, honey. Happy Friday. I hope you're well.
Okay nickname. So my friend sent me this message that you are seeing here, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah, Lottie, it's great. I can't wait to get introduced to this person who definitely didn't consent to these text messages being shown on YouTube. I wonder what their name is.
I'm going to react to this first 5 minutes because I want to know what they say.
Baroki, were you expecting that? Are you okay, hon?
So let's do it. I want to be able to respond. By the way,
good.
this YouTuber does not show their face because they're too scared.
No. Some people just have concerns about privacy, girl, and that's okay. Some people are okay with, like, keeping things private. You could learn a thing or two, to be fair.
So all you need to hear is their voice. Let's do it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Happy Thursday. And before we get
Steven says, made a note. Steven says, I think Salty used a member stream. Oh, that's right. So Salty was doing a, when Amby was taking the narcissist test. Are they the same thing? Yes. No. Narcissist test. Salty was using some of the content there, and Amby was like, you better take it down or I'm going to copyright strike you.
Started today, I just want to talk a little bit about what happened last night.
So unexpected but a happy visitor, Baroki.
Or should I say very early this morning. If you missed it, Amberlynn went live for about an hour and a half. And it was pretty much just a part 2 to the members only stream she did, because it was almost...
So this was the live that we were watching collectively the other day.
Exactly the same thing. She was, in my opinion, very manic. She was crying.
Okay, so mental health shaming?
I don't think that's necessarily purposeful. I found a better word. Damn it! I had the better word before I started this stream. It was... Oh, never mind. Never mind.
1 second laughing, the next second acting very just above it all, while
I'm telling you, my moods genuinely are bouncing back and forth. Like, 1 minute I am crying, 1 minute I'm laughing, 1 minute I'm doing both at the same time. 1 minute I feel despair, 1 minute I feel hopeful. It is what it is. That's where I'm currently at right now with my mental health.
It is smuglynn. I'm very sorry.
still having to get digs in on people. Most of the things that she said was just her repeating what she said in the member stream. In my opinion,
a lot of people don't get to see, so I'm glad that I had that public live stream for people.
Are you? Because that energy in that public live stream was not good. Do not recommend.
People can't pay for my members only.
I felt like she was doing that. She did the stream because she kind of wanted to get the attention off of Beck and Destiny's video from...
Definitely not. Beck and Destiny's video genuinely sucked. Like, okay, screenshots from 9 years ago. I'm sorry I was hurt. I'm sorry I was desperate for attention.
Okay, take this back because smuglynn needs to hear a thing or two.
Mental health.
Still having to get digs in on people. Most of the things that she said was just her repeating what she said in the member stream. In my opinion,
a lot of people don't get to see, so I'm glad that I had that public live stream for people, because some people can't pay for my members only.
I felt like she was doing that. She did the stream because she kind of wanted to get the attention off of Beck and Destiny's video from...
Definitely not. Beck and Destiny's video genuinely sucked. Like, okay.
Did you watch it, Amby, or not? I'm going to assume you watched it.
Screenshots from 9 years ago. I'm sorry I was hurt. I'm sorry.
Amby, did you not pull out, like, phones from your storage space that you swear you only have one phone, but you have every phone you've ever had since you were like 18 or whatever it is? Were you not the one pulling out screenshots and receipts from 9 years ago also? I mean, this is all... Girl, this is all very tired.
I was desperate for attention.
Earlier.
You say, I'm sorry, I was desperate for attention?
I'm sorry I was hurt. I'm sorry I was desperate for attention.
Early.
See, Amby, you're so close to an actual genuine, that's how you say that word, apology. But instead, you just want to sit here and be smug. Right. Very good. Amber the Scallion, thank you for the super chat. Amber the Scallion says, Amber should change her name.
Yes.
Wow.
Yesterday, she wanted to make everybody talk about...
Thank you for the support, honey.
her and what happened in the live stream. But honestly, like I said, it was just a repeat of the other night. Nothing really...
And yet you watched it, didn't you?
...new
Can't help but. It's entertaining as hell. Train wreck.
...came out of the stream, and I don't think I'm gonna cover it because as I was watching it, nothing really stood out to me. She was mostly just reading the nice comments people were leaving.
I think I know why they're actually talking about this, because in that live stream...
Oh, Stephen, she absolutely loves this. She's frothing over it, mate.
I straight up asked Salty Crab a question, and I think they might be answering...
She has a nemesis and attention. What more could she want?
...it right now, so I'm actually glad that I'm reacting to this, so let's hear the answer.
You enjoy Salty's voice? Well, Simple, you should check out that content, because I think you'd like it.
She was ranting about everybody who she doesn't like, crying over, like, girl, we saw it all before, and it was more entertaining in the member stream. But I do want to address one thing, and like I said before, I'm not going to do a back and forth with Amberlynn.
See? Exact same phrase Amby said.
But yet you are.
Girl, this is not a back and forth. A back and forth is you desperately sliding into reaction channels' DMs to try to have a conversation with them. Know it, girl, honey buns, sweetie pop, sugar, hair. No one's interested in having a conversation with you. Do you know why? Because you're dangerous. Not in a like, oh, I'm afraid for my life, I used the wrong word, Amberlynn kind of way. But you are a manipulative asshole. Why would anyone want to have a conversation with you? We are here to watch the clownery. Fuck off. Fuck off. Pardon me. Fuck off.
really no point to it. There's nothing
But yet you are.
I can say to her that's gonna make her just all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I apologize.
Because you're not.
To
Hold
anyone.
on.
Her just all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh.
Also, just a note for everyone, if you do wear a choker, good for you. Take it off when you have a shower. Just let that neck breathe.
You're right. I apologize. To anyone.
Honey buns.
Not the honey buns.
Why would I apologize to you? Like, there's nothing to apologize to you for.
She's gonna think she's right
I think she's been writing these down, by the way, Chad.
about everything until the end of
I'm not right about everything. At all.
time.
How the propagating plants. Oh my god, so good. So the one that I hacked up, I can't remember what it was called, the green and red one. It's got water roots happening, which is very good. They're all still alive, so that's happy days.
About everything until the end of
I'm not right about everything. At all.
time. Even the things that she admits she did wrong, she has a reason for or an excuse.
Oh,
And
sorry,
usually
mate.
blaming some
I bet you're not perfect. At all. I bet you made your...
Literally no reaction channel has ever sat here and said, I'm perfect. Girl, people can criticize you. You put yourself out there on the internet. How has it been a decade and you still don't understand? How do you not understand? Girl!
fair share of mistakes. So it's like these people who want to like point their finger and be like, you're not perfect. Well,
Idiot. I'm so sorry, Amby. I try not to name call, but you are dense as a black hole. No, literally no person sits here and points to Amberlynn or points to Foodie Beauty because they are teaming up. It's the X-Vengers Civil War. No one points to these idiots on the internet and says, well, you're not perfect. How dare you? Now, when you choose to do things like use slurs on the internet, a la Foodie Beauty, yeah, you're going to have a whole heap of people pointing to you and say, maybe that behavior's not great when you neglect your animals, like both of these people. You might have a lot of people sitting on the internet pointing fingers and saying, maybe you should do better. It's not about perfection, girl. It's about, like, not being shit. And at this point in time, you're a bit shit. Actually, a lot shit.
bro, you have several fingers pointed back at you because neither are you.
someone else or her BPD, but she did.
Oh, do you hear the mocking of her BPD?
I do, and I know where that's coming from because you, Amberlynn Reid, use your mental health diagnosis that we don't actually know whether or not they are an actual diagnosis, as a shield, as protection to reduce or just all-out decline accountability and say, you know what, I am the way that I am because of my mental health, and you can just suck it. That's what that is.
More mental health shaming. Like, when does it end?
Did ask me personally to tell her why in my video from almost a week ago, Amber, like you're still going on
Chamber, I think was the Chamberlynn, I think was the name we ended up with.
about it, but
And you still go on about things that happened years and years ago just because you need something to talk about because your whole channel is monetized based on talking about me.
And she's pressed about that because almost well, many of the larger, more popular channels who speak about Amberlynn Reid exceed her view count, sometimes double, day to day. And she's pressed about it because she still thinks that that audience is hers. And to be fair, those people are watching Ambi, but it's a vicarious thing because no one wants to do it alone.
So yeah, I am going to talk about something that happened a week ago
Mama, hello.
that genuinely hurt my feelings and my jaw was on the floor because I was like, making a joke out of my cancer is not okay.
Okay, again, I don't think that this nickname for Amberlynn Reid was a dig at someone having cancer. I think it was because Amberlynn was too lazy and too ridiculous, which we'll get into later, to actually seek healthcare for a thing that was going on. And then also that name, like, I mean, I wouldn't call Ambi that for my own reasons. But I think that in this overall discussion about Ambi's general state of leaving a trail behind, I don't know a nice way of saying that. I can see where it's come from.
She wanted me to talk about or tell her why I called
Chamberlynn Marie. Lock it in, Lottie.
that character.
I'm so sorry, honey. Hold on, let me scroll up. I missed you. Thank you for the super chat, hun. Maya said, the more smug she is, the worse she's unraveling. Oh, I agree. I also think she's losing a bit of control because she hasn't got... So, normally for me at least, I think we get a lot of smuglynn when Ambi doesn't have someone on the hook. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Ambi's got someone in the chamber. Wait, no, that's a turd. I don't think Ambi's got a partner lined up, which is why she's got all of this free time to do stuff like this. And that's where the unraveling comes from.
And bleed. Why did I use the word bleed? First of all, it was a stupid joke.
It's not a stupid joke. So if you say something that offends someone and it genuinely hurts their feelings, you apologize, right?
Did you apologize to Zachary Michael when you were talking about their experiences and their mental health when they were going through their breakup? What about that reaction channel who had a heart attack? I can't remember who it was. A heart attack or a stroke or something. And you said you lost your sympathy bone. Did you apologize for that one? No. So strange. Weird. That's so bizarre. Wow. Narc alert. That's who it was. Wow. Okay. But you expect reaction channels to apologize if they say something out of turn or off color or something that you don't agree with because you're a person and you deserve respect. You are a person. Respect? I mean, you've said and done some pretty shitty shit on the internet. So I don't know about that one. Respect as a person, sure, but like, come on now, girl.
Isn't that what you're trying to teach your audience, supposedly?
Oh yeah, did you apologize to Casey for saying the wrong word? What about Mr. Snowflake for saying the wrong word more recently? I don't know where we're at with that. Also, are we getting a lol suit? Have we got an update on that? Snowflake, are you here? Can you just at least give me the heads up so I can brush the wig out? It's a little dusty.
Do it then. Or do you have too much ego, too much pride? Afraid your audience is going to get mad at you?
This is a silly joke. I wanted a word that
Not a silly joke.
rhymed with your last name, so I used the word.
Lottie says, let's just all collectively make a statement that we'll take accountability for our dumb jokes and move on. Ambi style. But Ambi would never do that.
There's a lot of words.
She'd sit here for 20 minutes and say, I'm taking accountability, until like all sense of the word has lost meaning.
That rhyme with Reid. I mean, I can think of one right now.
Greed.
Feed.
Oh, feed. Okay. Lead. Let's run through the alphabet. Creed, deed, lead, mead. She could make a beer out of honey.
That'd be a lot more funnier than bleed.
You can just say funnier.
Bleed. But also, the joke was not about your cancer. As
Yes, it was.
much
Oh,
as
steed. She could be a centaur. Centauress.
That'd be a lot more funnier than bleed.
bleed. But also, the joke was
Peed.
not about your cancer. As
Yes, it was.
I don't think it was. I personally don't think it was. As the person who told or made the reference, Salty is also saying it wasn't intentionally linked to that, and I genuinely, sorry, I genuinely think it didn't actually have anything to do with that. Now, was Ambi free bleeding on a mattress for a year because of cancer? Yes. But there's a walk there.
much as you try and say that it was, what it was really about was your.
Also, you know what? I think Ambi's going to make more of this content because she won't have your mama to watch either. She's got some free time, chat. Be careful. She's going to come out for people.
Laziness. The fact that you made the choice to not seek medical treatment.
Would it be Amber feed, Lottie?
When you knew that you should.
So, first of all,
Ambi is an asshole, Eric. Thank you.
One of the very first things that I did when I was diagnosed with cancer, because I was told to do this, was join forums of other people who have the same cancer as me.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I realized we all had one thing in common. 95% of us waited and waited and waited. We had these symptoms and we just waited months, or some of us waited years. Some people waited even longer than me to see.
Okay, this is a weird, like, everybody does it story, but let's call a spade a spade. You had made your health into content for half a decade. Half a decade. Half a decade, Ambi would vlog herself going to an ER, and for at least, like, 3 of those years was coming back from the ER with either cellulitis or a UTI. I don't understand how you could, let's even minimize that, let's say 2 years, right? I don't understand how you could be creating content of going to an ER and getting consistent UTI and or bladder infections. That's what she was told. And have an entire audience screaming into the chat, into the comment section saying, go and speak to a healthcare professional, girl. The amount of UTIs and bladder infections that you're getting is not normal. You need to go and get that checked out. And you'd say, yeah, I'm going to go check it out. But, you know, things are hard and I don't have insurance. And, you know, that would mean getting up from bed. Girl, it's not as if you weren't aware of what was going on. She had the audacity when she came online to tell us that she never went to an OBGYN to say that, well, you know, she never had any sisters or her mother never told her she needed to go and she never had any friends tell her to go. As if it was someone else's fault. Like, Amberlynn literally just wants to blame her shitty health on everyone else. It was the ER doctor's fault that they misdiagnosed her. Bloody walking pneumonia and dangling ankle. Dankling? Dankling ankle. It was her family and friends' fault that she didn't see an OBGYN. It was Beck's fault that she didn't get checked up sooner. Like, you what, girl, remember that accountability word? Yeah, we can use that here. You can just say, I was avoiding my health and these are the consequences of me doing that. Not, well, everybody else does it.
Be a gynecologist. And there is multiple reasons for that. Fear, embarrassment, feeling ashamed, anxiety. Some of us then begin to believe like, okay, maybe actually these symptoms are normal, or actually it's really not that big of a deal. I did go to the doctor. I actually went to the ER a few times. And
that's not going to the doctor. What is wrong with you?
Every single time I went, they told me I had all this blood and I had the pain in my back and it was due to a UTI or it was due to a bladder infection.
I guarantee you, go back and rewatch those vlogs and she will be complaining that people... First of all, she complains about workers in the ER. Clock that. Second of all, she will complain that the ER doctors told her to go and seek follow-up medical advice. Because she expects there to be a magic bullet to fix literally every problem. Because she's who? Amberlynn Feed.
And all of these things, but that wasn't the case. Should I have gone to a gynecologist sooner? Sure. Does that make me lazy? Fuck no.
Yes, it fucking does. Oh my god. You were being paid 6 figures a year. This is not a conversation about whether or not you could afford healthcare, which is, I understand, a conversation in this realm. You are lazy. No, it's my mental health, it's my depression, it's my BPD. Have you addressed any of that? You working on any of that? You managing any of that? You speaking to a professional about any of that? Did you do it back then? Are you doing it now? No? Right. Why? It's too hard. Okay, girl. We're just giving up then. It's too hard. Too hard. Right. Too hard, don't care.
Does that make anyone else who has also had uterine cancer and they waited a really long time to be seen until they were diagnosed?
You didn't take a really long time to be seen, you fuck knuckle. You didn't seek help. You literally blamed 3 other people that you had cancer. People who didn't tell you to go see an OBGYN, ER doctors who couldn't diagnose you immediately because they're not going to run fucking tests for cancer in the ER. They're going to tell you to get a follow-up. And Beck, fuck off.
Does that make them
Ooh, heated. Woo! Hot. Just hot.
lazy? No. Do they deserve to have a nickname like that? No.
No, but also here's a key difference to all of those people, you nincompoop. None of those people have vlogged their entire fucking experience. And anybody who has, I hope, has listened to the thousands of comments in the chat telling them that they need to seek medical assistance. This is about you, Ambi. This is not about everybody else's situation. The whataboutism through the roof. Go.
Because you knew that, oh well, someone else will just come and clean up this mess for me.
Clean up this mess?
And when I say that you expected everyone to clean things up around you, you know exactly what I mean.
If you're talking about my blood, I made sure that that was nowhere. There was blood nowhere.
Right, so you were cleaning up, leaving a blood spot or whatever, but you weren't cleaning you weren't cleaning the stolen wash rags that you were wiping your butt with. Yeah, I trust that. Yeah, no, that seems right.
Did you guys ever remember that mattress that was out in the living room?
Yes.
That was one of the reasons it was in the living room, because I was scared to get blood anywhere. I never got it anywhere. If I wasn't wearing a pad, I was wearing a rag. I was very anal about that because it was embarrassing. Like, I was always bleeding. Sometimes it was heavier than other times, but it was genuine.
And you didn't think you might want to follow up and book a doctor's appointment. Girl, you literally had nothing to do. It's not as if she was busy. Didn't have any dependents, didn't have any family, didn't have any responsibilities. Sitting down, eating chicken carcasses, making $200,000 a year. Couldn't book a doctor's appointment. Hey, Haz, good to see you, honey.
Genuinely an awful
Go back.
I was scared to get blood anywhere. I never got it anywhere. If I wasn't wearing a pad, I was wearing a rag.
Who cleaned those rags, Ambi? Just curiously, this is not rag shaming, by the way. Who cleaned those rags? Because if they're the same rags, aka stolen washcloths from your housemate, I'm going to assume Beck was cleaning them.
I was very anal about that because it was
Anal.
embarrassing. Like, I was always bleeding. Sometimes it was heavier than other times, but it was genuinely an awful experience, and it was
terrible experience. The amount that you shared, particularly the ER visits, scream, girl, are you going to get a grip? And you never did. Sad.
very embarrassing. I never made Beck do it. Who else was?
Are you sure? I doubt that.
Like, oh, are you speaking about my roommates? Because I had roommates. Hell no, that is
No, you were just stealing one of your roommate's washcloths.
so embarrassing. That was two guys. Like, are you joking? I handled all of that by myself.
Aha. Right. So, did it get on the mattress? Or just, what happened to the rags?
Just because I was having all these symptoms, it didn't make me a selfish or disrespectful person.
No, that's separate, but everything Beck's spoken about makes you both of those things. Jamie, thank you for being here for 31 months, honey. I appreciate it. Jamie says, please call her a fucking again. You get one. Thanks for the support, honey.
I wasn't going to sit there and make a mess. Like, what? The fact that you're even insinuating that is hectic. And that's for a lack of a better word.
You're the one who said you had to use rags instead of using feminine products. But who washed those
Man,
rags?
that's crazy. Like, it just feels like, again, I'm obviously not ambient. I don't have that going on. But it just feels to me, if the situation is so heavy and consistent and concerning, why are you not speaking to a doctor about it? Like, why are you going to an ER about UTIs when you're having to do all of this but not speaking to someone about that. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Rags, Amber? Who
Me. What?
changed those rags, Amber?
Me? What is happening? So you called me raglynn bleed because you're assuming that Beck washed my rags.
That's what I assumed. Beck said that they were washing the poop rags. I'm assuming they'd wash the other rags. I'm assuming you had like a little basket just that collected all of the rags. Bodily discharge miscellaneous.
I genuinely think this person needs help. Like more help.
Or, I mean, I don't mean to sound grim, but I am trying to make a joke out of it. And to be light, not cancer shaming, by the way, Amby. Or do you think they had, you know how you can get like those like laundry hampers that have like whites and darks, or lights and darks, or whatever they are. Maybe she had one for like poop washcloths and the other one for like bloody rags. This is too much. This is too much bodily anything. I didn't want this.
Than me. Like, I admit I need help, but so do you. What?
Nasty.
Who probably had to scrub those rags out in this.
No one scrubbed a rag in a sink because
But Beck has said that Beck had to clean the poo rags. So this is where it's all coming from, Amby.
of my cancer symptoms. That never happened.
But again, this is not like it's a conversation about the symptoms, but this isn't cancer shaming. Like she's trying to portray, this isn't any of that, Amby. The story is your partner had to clean the rags you were using to wipe your butt. The assumption is that because you weren't cleaning those rags, you also weren't cleaning the rags you were using to stop all of that stuff going on. Bro, this is too much.
Sink, Amber. Bet it wasn't you.
You guys think this is Darvo? It is giving that feeling. Not that I know what that feeling's like, but it is.
And you were just fine with
It was nobody.
them having to do it.
One has a note. One says either you were able to wash the rags but still made Beck clean the poo rags, or you could not wash them and Beck cleaned them all. Abuse either way. 100% agreed. 100%. That's crazy behavior.
Day after day,
It was nobody.
week after week, month
So
after
who cleaned the blood rags? Was that you? So why weren't you cleaning the poo rags? It seems to me you should just get them all done at the same time. I don't know.
month.
Also, what's good for that? Bleach? Or just like fire? Probably fire. Time to throw those out, I think.
Year after year. You intentionally did not go to the
Morning
doctor.
builder.
I didn't intentionally not go to the doctor.
Yes, you did. You intentionally didn't go to the doctor. What excuse are you going to use? No, I was too depressed, I was too afraid, I was too frightened. Okay, but that doesn't stop you from... You still didn't go. Yeah, but I was afraid. Okay, great. Lots of people are afraid of a lot of things that we have to do. But we go and do them to make sure that, we're not just in this situation. Cautionary tale, guys. Cautionary tale. Jax, thank you for the super chat, honey. Jax says, Howard Storage World have petitioned laundry baskets. What? I hope not, Jax. That's... God damn it. Thank you for the support.
For that. When other times, you would go to the ER for cellulitis.
Yes.
Yes, because cellulitis is an infection that if it gets in your blood, you can die.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did go to the ER for that. So I can be on antibiotics because that's the only way that cellulitis can go away. So I'm sorry.
Or the time
I mean, hindsight is 2020. Maybe it would have been a good idea to go to a doctor and discuss, why you were at increased risk of getting cellulitis and maybe explore options for reducing that risk of cellulitis. But that never happened because of fear, I guess. Not afraid to go to the ER though, which is good, I guess. At least there's some healthcare, but it is weird that you're not afraid in one instance, but afraid in another, I suppose. Okay.
that you needed stitches in your hand.
Yes, I literally still have that scar. But yes, I needed stitches. I'm sorry. I stabbed myself in the hand with a knife.
What did she get? 3 stitches in her hand? We call it avocado hand. Because she had an avocado and there was this circle thing and she tried to get it out and then she got herself in the hand. That's actually a really good point. I mean, 3 stitches, like, I guess it's urgent care level, but if you're not afraid enough to go and get a couple of stitches in your hand, why are you so afraid of going to see a primary care physician to discuss your overall general health? Oh, wait, I know the answer.
This wasn't a case where you had a fear of the doctor.
This is genuinely like you invalidating my experience.
Oh, shit, or get off the pot.
But you know what? I don't expect anything less, anything more from you.
Okay, girl, guess what? There are people out there who have the opinion that you're shit and they don't like you. End of. It's what it is, girl. Like, it's what it is. You want to sit there and sit in Foodie's chat and say, oh, villain error, here's $20, Foodie, Okay, great. If you want to be seen as a villain, you're not that iconic, you're just a turd, great, not a problem. But gotta say, people have been kind of seeing that for a while. Come on now. Tracy, thank you for being here for 14 months, honey. Tracy says, I go to bed with Poppy and wake up with him. That's good. I hope you have a fabulous day, mate. Good morning. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
Problems going to the ER. But in this situation, you decided to ignore it. You even admitted that you took an online quiz to see what was wrong rather than seeing a doctor. And even then, when the quiz told
this just makes me want to go and watch Salty.
you what was probably wrong, it still took you another month before you went to the doctor.
Yeah, out of fear. And I also kept lying to myself because my whole life, like even in high school.
We know you're delusional and avoidant. We know, but also manipulative and piece of work.
I had irregular periods. Doctors always told me it was because of my weight. Like,
what fucking doctors? Girl, if you didn't go to a doctor for 10 years, if you've never been to an OBGYN, why do you think I'm believing this lie that doctors always told you? Doctors always told you? I'm curious, if a doctor always tells you that you have an irregular period, would they not recommend you go and see an OBGYN to maybe, like, investigate that a little bit more? Or is that just a crock of shit? Ah, okay, right, well, very good.
Like, even in high school, I had irregular periods. Doctors always told me it was because of my weight. Like, when you're really overweight and when you're really underweight, your periods are very irregular. So I did keep lying to myself. I was like, this is happening because of your weight. So the more I lied to myself, the more I made it seem like, oh, it's just because of my weight.
Again, you shared it with your internet audience who were yelling at you for years to go and take it seriously. But just like your fucking relationship with food, you thought, nah, I'll look after it, it'll be fine. You know what, and I get it. Like, there are elements of both Ambi and Foodie that I acknowledge as similar. Ambi doesn't want to be confronted with reality. Now, me, I'm quite comfortable in reality at the moment, but past me, very angry little nugget, who didn't want to be confronted with reality, would oftentimes avoid mirrors, like, literally got myself ready without looking, like, making eye contact in the mirror. It was a lot to work through, but fortunately, 2020 happened. I get it, Ambi. You're avoidant. You don't want to sit in your discomfort as much as you say you do. You just want to sit in the poo-poos. And you don't want to be confronted with reality. And unfortunately, speaking with healthcare professionals, they tend to be pretty like, well, I guess it depends. You might want to go and see Anna's doctor because they did a number there. But oftentimes medical professionals will just call it as they see it and say, this is the test and this is the results and this is what you need to do to make things better. And you don't want to do that. And I acknowledge the fact that you're afraid to do that, but grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. If you're in a situation where you're going to the ER every other month because you've got bladder infections and UTIs and etc., take that as a blaring warning sign that you actually need to go get some additional tests done and find a professional. Also, yeah, you know what? No. Take a minute, Zach. Moonface, thank you for the super chat, honey. Moonface says, fun fact, when you're under the care of an oncologist, they treat not just the cancer, but all issues you have while under their care. Oh, that makes sense. For example, I developed an ear infection and they addressed it. I guess that makes sense because they're probably most like involved with, especially with cancer and immune systems and like medical, medicine interactions and stuff like that. That kind of makes sense that they would have like overarching like advice on all of that. Thank you, Moonface, for sharing. I appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat. Grammy, thank you for the super chat as well. Grammy says, if she went to the doctor and had the issue fixed, she wouldn't hold it over Beck as a way to control them any longer. I mean, if you want to get grim and into it, yeah, 100%.
It still doesn't give you the right to make fun of the situation.
And when you did finally go to the doctor, you took pictures of your underwear and the crotch of your pants.
I did. Actually,
why did we see that?
It was Beck who took those pictures. We were absolutely shocked with how much blood I was losing. Like, I was losing so much blood, and that was only the beginning of it. Like, the pictures.
That makes sense to me, Lottie, yes.
That we did take, because then it got worse and worse. At that point, I was having to be rushed into an emergency DNC. I was losing so much blood that, like, I could have died. But yes, Beck had their phone and they were taking pictures because it was genuinely so shocking. And I remember Beck was texting my mom and like keeping my mom updated. And during that, Beck sent those photos to my mom, because it's like when you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, Amberlynn is like gushing blood. You know, you imagine something, but you don't imagine like how bad it actually was.
I'm sorry, if someone was messaging me about someone that I knew was in a hospital gushing blood, I would assume that that's pretty bad. It's really weird that we've managed to make this Beck's fault here as well. Mai, thank you for the super chat, love. Mai says, also, who cares about why you didn't do things different? You fucked up and others had to suffer the consequences. You think the blood didn't smell? Oh my god. Thanks, honey. Thanks, Mai. I appreciate it.
And the floor and all the blood everywhere, and you put them on Snapchat for your viewers to.
Ah, that's where we saw it. Yeah.
Yes, I did put them on Snapchat. So this was during the time where I was like, I cannot believe that people think I am lying about cancer. And it was quite a few people. Like when Nikocado Avocado uploaded that video insinuating that I lied about cancer, like I was being harassed more than ever.
Of Age, thank you for the super chat, honey. Of Age says, Beck's fault again, I guess.
And
I mean, that's Ambi's go-to, really.
That video insinuating that.
And Sandy, thank you for the super chat, hun. Del says, both cancer and cellulitis can end you. Is she dumb? Well, she didn't make any changes after, dealing with both. And cellulitis she's dealt with multiple times. Like, I do not understand. I understand the health avoidance. I really do. But if you're confronted enough with your health to go to an ER, you are confronted enough to go and speak to a professional.
I lied about cancer. Like, I was being harassed more than ever. And, like, it made my mental health so bad. I ended up...
Right, Amberlynn's mental health is all of our fault, by the way, chat. Just so you know.
Filming a whole video, like, bawling my eyes out. Like, I showed my actual medical paperwork, which was really embarrassing. And in that same, like, impulsive state of mind...
Which was our fault.
I ended up posting those pictures on Snapchat as a way to be like, I did go through this. This is exactly what happened to me. Do I regret doing that? No. But...
That's weird. Look, I get it. The thing with Ambi is that she's a professional liar on the internet. So I understand people's cynicism when it comes to literally anything that she says. I get it, don't get me wrong. Now, part of me, when she was explaining all of the cancer stuff, like instantly and immediately, I think the majority of my emotion was like, fuck, that sucks. But I do also understand that people are cynical of Amberlynn Reid. We've been here for a hot minute. There's a reason. Now, the fact that you took everybody else's... the fact that you took, I'm going to say the vast minority's opinion, so, to heart that you decided you needed to show your medical records and proof of gushing. Great loser name, by the way. Proof of gushing. Girl, that's on you. 11 years doing this? You still haven't found a way to just detach, to not take everybody's opinion about you and your content personally. Because, girl, we don't know you. You keep saying we don't know the real you. You've got a life offline. You're so busy. This, that, the other. Okay, girl, we don't know you. We only know the nincompoopery that you put up on screen. Gotta tell you, don't like it. Trash Picking Zombie Bird, a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here for 11 months. Trash says, as always, thank you so much for the company you work. You're welcome, hun. I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you for the support. Good to see you.
It is very pathetic that I even had to do that.
You chose to do that. You didn't have to. You could have just not acknowledged people not believing you. Like, yeah, that sucks, but also, why are you taking strangers on the internet's opinions to heart? Clear off. Like, I don't understand.
Actually got to that level that I had to show something so private.
You didn't have to. Nobody forced you. Just because people weren't believing you, like, what does that matter? What does it matter? Like, I think both Destiny and Beck have spoken pretty frequently about this. What do people on the internet's opinions matter, girl? What does it matter? It matters to you because you can't manipulate and gaslight people into believing the narrative you want them to believe. We know that. You're controlling, and there's lots of other words I'd like to use. Turdish behaviour, that's what it is. Just because you can't control what other people think, you needed to learn that lesson like 2 decades ago, girl. You really did. Log off.
It honestly feels demeaning. And this person right here is like making fun of me.
Making fun of you because you refuse to clean your poo rags, according to the partner who you dragged onto this platform and didn't pay. Oh, and abuse. That's how we got here.
Because I did that. That's really, really sad.
Chronicles, good to see you. I agree. She is smuggling to the max here.
See, but you have a problem with me making a silly joke using the word bleed?
They don't have anything to do with each other.
Really,
What?
Really sad.
See, but you have a problem with me making a silly joke using the word bleed?
They don't have anything to do with each other.
Really?
Again, I'll reiterate it again. I don't think that giving Ambi the nickname Raglynn Bleed was a dig at her cancer. I think it was a reference to the fact that she refused to clean the rags.
Amber, it's also come out that you ruin people's personal items.
Like washcloths.
Because what?
Because of the bleeding.
I never ruined anyone's personal items because of the bleeding.
What's that little eye movement there? Did y'all see that?
Because of the bleeding.
I never ruined anyone's personal items because of the bleeding.
Did y'all see the eyes? Take it back. Take it back.
Because of the bleeding.
I never ruined anyone's personal items because of the bleeding. Nothing.
Uh-huh. Right. Well, even if you did, I don't really care. I care more about the... I'm sure there's like a rags to riches story in there. I mean, story? Joke is what I'm thinking of. Goblin, thank you for being here for 34 months, honey. Goblin says, can we nickname her? No. No, her name's Amber. She doesn't like to be called anything other than her name, and her name is Amber. Puffin Time, thank you for the super chat, honey. Puffin says Amber is losing an argument with a recording. She's literally losing an argument with herself. It's hilarious. Hilarious.
At all. Zero. Zippo. Nada.
You made your ex drag a mattress in and out of the living room for you to sit on it.
Ew, why would you not like that? Why would you be so smug and not like that? That's weird.
So you wouldn't make a mess.
That is actually the truth.
Who said ragtime girl? Who said that? That's really funny. Selma! That's really funny.
I would have done it for Beck. When you're in a relationship and you think that you love the person, it's supposed to be
You wouldn't have done it for Beck because you couldn't. If you can't do it for yourself, how are you doing it for Beck? I would have done it for Beck. Bullshit. Bullshit.
For you to sit on it so you wouldn't make a mess.
That is actually the truth. I would have done it.
Oh, okay, so you made a mess on the mattress. Right. Ragtime. We have a ragtime song? Oh, I don't know. I want a ragtime song. It's not really a ragtime song. That's country and folk. I know this song. Not the ragtime girl. That's going on the favorites list. Very good. Thank you, Salva. I appreciate you.
For Beck, when you're in a relationship and you
Okay, sorry, I gotta rewind. I got distracted.
Zippo, nada.
You made your ex drag a mattress in and out of the living room for you to sit on it so you wouldn't make a mess.
That is
Thank you all for liking the stream as well, by the way. I appreciate it.
actually the truth. I would have done it for Beck. When you're in a relationship and you think that you love the person, it's supposed to be a safe,
Not you think you love the person. You love the person.
comforting, caring environment. Think for 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure you would have dragged the mattress into the living room as well if you wanted to hang out with your partner and you knew what they were experiencing. I think when people imagine my bleeding, I think they're imagining like Carrie. I don't know if you
I always thought the mattress thing was because Ambi would complain that her legs and ankles hurt when she sat. Is that not it?
guys have ever seen that movie. It wasn't like that until I was rushed to the ER. Then it was very much like that. But on every day, like
Sarah Marie, thank you for being here for 22 months. Sarah Marie says, nobody is making fun of your cancer. Delusional, Lynn. Yeah.
until I was rushed to the ER, then it was very much like that. But on every day, like an everyday basis, it wasn't like that. I did not get blood anywhere. So let me keep hearing
Okay.
why you're making fun of my cancer. Let's
Just on rags that your partner had to clean up because of an abusive relationship. Cool. Nothing to do with cancer, girl. Your shitty actions and behavior, it's not to do with cancer.
keep going with your excuse because still, I don't get it.
And did you
You'll never get it because you're willfully dense.
do anything about that? Did you try?
And you don't want to. You just want someone to fight with. And I hope Salty doesn't give back because, like, she feeds off this shit.
and got it looked at for at least 2 years?
Like I said, I went to the ER for it and I went to the doctor and they sent me home with a UTI and
When did you go to the doctor? What doctor did you go to?
antibiotics.
No.
And advice to go and seek to a professional. I'm sure if you'd have told someone in the ER or a doctor that you'd never been to a gynecologist at the ripe old age of 30, they probably would have suggested it.
Because you thought, well, someone else will clean it up. I don't feel like
No one cleaned up anything. There was nothing to clean up.
going. But somehow
She's real pressed about that, hey.
that's my fault for using a
Really need Eric and Ricky's, 2 cents on this.
word, for saying the word bleed.
You are so dense. If you actually
Oh god, she used my word. That doesn't feel right.
think that I'm upset because you used a word, you're making fun of me. You're making
Making fun of you is not making fun of you for having cancer, girl. I'm very sorry. Look, I'll look into camera and tell you this, Amber. You'll never see this, and that's okay. I'm very sorry that you had to go through the process of cancer. You're very fortunate that you were able to heal and be in remission however many months afterwards, which is not how that works at all. I'm very glad that you got all of the aftercare that you required, except for all of those scans and tests to check to make sure that it was actually all gone. I hope it's not gone, because no one deserves cancer. Fuck cancer. But also, fuck you, because you are not a good person. Okay? Good.
making fun of an experience that altered my whole life.
Really? And before you fix your mouth to call me an ableist again
Oh, here we go.
You are.
and try and say that your medical issues were due to your size,
They are.
you sure
Okay, cool. But your refusal to go to healthcare professionals and seek assistance was your own doing, girl.
had no problem getting to Lexington 20.
What?
Oh yeah, she went to Pride too.
During that era of my life, I went to Lexington maybe once. I'm finding it hard to understand, what that has to do with you making fun of my cancer.
It's not making fun of your cancer, girl. You need to drop the hot potato. I think Salty Crab is referring to or insinuating that you were able to be mobile. Like, you were able to get around. You were able to go to the ER, but you couldn't follow up with a doctor's visit. And you also refused to clean your poo rags. What?
Like, you're reaching so far that I am in fear you're going to pull a muscle. So calm.
Oh, round of applause. That was a zinger. You're reaching so hard, I'm afraid you're gonna pull a muscle. Got it. Not standing ovation. What? Zing, thank you for the super chat, Artie. Zing says, Amber calling other people dense is like tofu calling other food squishy. Hey, firm tofu exists. Thank you, Zing.
Has to do with you making fun of my cancer. Like, you're reaching so far that I am in fear you're going to pull a muscle. So calm down, please.
No, calm down.
7 times to go to the Cheesecake Factory. So how is there a problem getting to the doctor?
Not wrong.
Maybe if the gynecologist would have served orange chicken, you would have gotten checked out sooner. But
There it is. You're ableist, girl.
Oh my god, you are the dumbest fuck. Look, if nothing else today, that's the Reid. Like, that's the Reid girl. Like, Abby sitting over here all smug. I'm afraid that's reaching. I'm afraid you'll reach so hard that you'll hurt a muscle. Well, Salty's like, maybe you would have gone to the gynecologist if orange chicken was on the menu. Burn. Again, Amby, just as a point of note, this isn't making fun of you because you had cancer. No one's doing that. All of this mess is because, unfortunately, in the past, you didn't take care of your healthcare. And now you are being all smug about it. And girl, if you just didn't respond, if you just let this conversation happen and didn't want to feel like you were winning, because you're not winning. You may feel like it, but this is not winning. Girl, that's not ableist.
So far that I am in fear you're going to pull a muscle. So calm down, please.
7 times to go to the Cheesecake Factory. So how is there a problem getting to the doctor? Maybe if the gynecologist would have served orange chicken, you would have gotten checked out sooner. But
just woof. Woof.
There it is. You're ableist, girl.
That's not ableist, girl.
Just admit it. You're fat phobic.
That's not fat phobic. That's like a deep lore joke about Amby's love for orange chicken, if anything. And see, Amby, unfortunately, this is the thing. You made yourself a joke. Sorry, girl.
You're biased. You lack empathy.
By the way, being biased is not a bad thing. Amby seems to think that having bias, which everyone has about everything, by the way, Amby seems to think that having bias makes you lack critical thought, which is not correct. No.
And sympathy, and you can't admit when you're wrong.
Oh, comfort foods. That's a good idea, Lottie. Or maybe like a little snack pack or something, like a to-go, like you know how when you give blood you get the cookie. I haven't been able to give blood for a hot minute, but when you give blood you get like the orange juice and the cookie, like a little snack pack.
You lack empathy and sympathy, and you can't admit when you're wrong.
that's all you're getting from me, Amber, now.
Rules for me, but not for thee. Okay.
And then she didn't even say goodbye. Oh, God, I can't wait to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions about this. It's going to be a great weekend. All right, chat, I'm done. That's 2 for the day, but well and truly asleep. All right. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today, chat. I appreciate you all. Please make sure you brush your hair and your teeth, wash your face, wear your sunscreen, get your steps in, hug a loved one. Don't be a dumpster fire on the internet. Treat yourself with respect. Go and, book that appointment that you've been putting off. Because you only get one meat wagon, and you don't want to, do Amby. Don't be a ragtime gal, you know? For those of you on the rewatch, thank you for your comments, opinions, and eyeballs. If you'd like to hit the like button on the way out, that'd be great. If not, I totally understand. But I'll see you all